tell you what, I'll tell you folks, this is one of the most exciting things that's happened here in our area since I started with FishCap. And what is happening is that the DEC, the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife, the U.S. Geological Survey, and a truck from Wisconsin bringing sturgeon here. Sturgeon that had originated here in the St. Lawrence River. They've been reared in a hatchery in Wisconsin, and now they brought them back to their home. Most of the fish are going to go right here in Ogdensburg, and the reason being this is the primary spawning area, and it actually has the lowest number of fish right now in the river. Then another truck is going to take some sturgeon up above Messina to Hawkins Point. That is a really healthy area. There's a lot of fish up there, but they're going to put 500 more in, and some of these sturgeon right now are being transferred from this main truck into the other truck, and they're going to be taken to tributaries, both the St. Regis and the Racket. I mean, this is a monumental day for this area. First of all, sturgeon are very rare in this country, and second of all, that we in this area are the home of so many, and hopefully the future of this great prehistoric fish is exciting for all of us. Doug, I've been really anxious to talk to you about this whole event. You know, I've got bits and pieces from everybody. Thank goodness that I got to talk to you yesterday so I could be here in Freeze along with everybody else today, but this is really amazing. So what can we pass on to everybody that is watching this right now about what this event really means to our area? That's the big question. What does it mean?
Well, we have recovery programs in the tributaries in the Oswegatchie, St. Regis, and Racket, and the stocking is essential to those recoveries, particularly to Black Lake and the Oswegatchie. And stocking in the St. Lawrence is an enhancement to the existing population. We're not in a big recovery mode for the St. Lawrence, it's just enhancing the low-level population that's been here. And we hope that it allows us a comparison to the wild population that's replacing itself. These fish have tags in them, and we'll be able to recognize them as distinct from the wild young sturgeon.
Why does this mean so much? What is the reason that you're doing this? I know you just explained what that all means, but in a more general thing, what do the sturgeon mean to our area?
The sturgeon are a natural part of the fish community. They have an important role in cycling nutrients from, as it is today, the zebra mussels and gobies that they eat, particularly the zebra mussels, and they process some of the nutrients in the system. They allow people to enjoy their huge size, occasionally catch them. So there's both the human element and the natural system element that they're important for.
Well, I'll tell you what, seems to be exciting to everybody that's heard about this. When the mayor of the city, with his busy schedule, comes down here to be part of sturgeon stocking, it tells us that there's something really important going on here.
We're really grateful to the collaborative efforts of the federal government, the Fish and Wildlife Service, helping us, the money that comes from the FEMRA funds to finance it, and other USGS collaborators and the St. Regis Mohawk tribe.
You know, we talk about the tributaries, and I know that a lot of people that have been fishing the Grass River over the last couple of years have been catching sturgeon by mistake, by using worms, fishing for bullhead or whatever. There seems to be a really, and again, I'm not a biologist, but there seems to be a good population of fish already in the Grass River. Am I right or wrong?
The Grass River has had that population without any recovery efforts, so it's maintaining itself at a low level. The Oswegatchie, you might say, has a similar level of fish now, only from the stocking. Mm-hmm. And we encourage fishermen to handle them sensibly and return them without harming them. They are threatened fish, and they're not to be possessed.
Do you see down the road, is there any point where they might not be a protected fish? They might become part of our whole sport fishing spectrum that we have here?
A long time from now. There has to be a few more generations of sturgeon, which is 20 years per generation. So we like to be optimistic, saying we look forward to it, but it's not in the real near future that we'll have fishing allowed in New York for sturgeon.
One final thing, how long do sturgeon live?
Most of the fish people see are in the 20 to 50 age range, with a maximum age over 100, but 20 years to maturity, and many of the fish are in the 40 to 60-year-old range.
Do they have any natural enemy other than man or disease?
I guess not. They're preyed upon as small fish, but
Yeah.
once they get up to a foot long, not many other fish would be eating them.
Yeah, that's what I was
Power
wondering with
plants,
some of these small fish.
Power
Like,
plants might be the biggest predator that sometimes get chopped, or they're very hardy fish.
well, that's great. And Doug, thank you, and I thank you for all our people for the efforts that you do, along with a lot of the other efforts of the DEC that sometimes goes unknown and unrecognized. But this is fantastic.
You're welcome.
This little sturgeon was an egg in May, and now it is October. So this is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. They're amazing fish. They're really tough. They're durable. But you know, the interesting thing is, 20 years from now, this little sturgeon will finally be able to create more little sturgeon. It takes them 20 years to sexually mature. That's an amazing thing. And that's why this whole event, and this whole species, is truly amazing that it's still here with us.
See that? See how he extends it?
Oh, wow.
So he swims along, those barbels will hang straight down, and then when he, over the bottom, and then when they detect something they want,
That's how they...
protrusible mouth shoots down, watch them.
Holy cow.
It'll shoot down an adult fish, that'll extend down 6 to 8 inches.
Will it?
Yeah.
My golly.
They'll pick up handfuls of, like, volume, probably that much rock. They have a coated wire tag in their head, like they use for the salmonids and Lake Ontario.
Really?
So we injected those. So basically, you run this magnetometer over their head, and it just beeps. So you know, the only thing you know is that it was a hatchery product, not a wild fish. So that's it.
Now,
So we can't discriminate between different fish. So
Yes.
we can move around the tagging location. So like next year, we can inject the tag site differently, and then when we scanned it, we know, hey, this was a 2013 versus 14, or vice versa.
well, one of the things, Dawn, with the U.S. Geological Survey, said that when they come back, they will net those in the Salmon River and see what their growth rates are. Is that correct, or am I misunderstanding?
Oh yeah,
Up there in Westville.
Yep. So we know for those fish, you know, when you put a pit tag in them,
Yes.
passive integrated transponder is the name of pit tag. But with those, it's like your social security number. I mean, we know that fish by 8-digit number. So we catch it again, you know, and they're good forever. They don't have a battery in them. The reader charges the tag and it pings back the number. So out into time, you know, that fish could be 100 years old, and technically we should be able to scan it and say we caught it 5 different times throughout its life.
That's fantastic. Is there any other part of the Northeast or New York where projects like this are taking place? Or is this unique?
Well, we got an incredibly special group in New York.
Yes.
Sturgeon Group. I mean, we're collaborative, led by the DEC, but an incredible collaborative process. I mean, there's probably similar or comparable conservation efforts led by a group of people, but there's none better. As far as sturgeon go, no. I mean, you're looking at it. I mean, there's the DEC leads it, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, USGS, St. Regis Mohawk Tribe, NIPA. I mean, there's a collective group, Cornell, ESF. I mean, there's a collective group there that works on sturgeon, and we get together, and it's a great group.
This is pretty amazing. They're putting 7,000 of these baby sturgeon. That's what they are, babies. They've only been alive a few months. 7,000 here in Ogdensburg at the city dock. And then through the years, I imagine they'll disperse a bit, but most of these fish that they're putting in here will probably stay in this area. When they leave here, the trucks are going to take much smaller numbers to our tributary streams, the Racket, the St. Regis, and of course the Grass River has a decent population already, and they're also going to go above Messina to Hawkins Point. Now, like they've told me, they don't really need to put any in up there because the population is very, very healthy, but this just helps sustain it, and it just makes sure that we have sturgeon all over these waters. What does this mean? It means that the future indeed is very bright for not only the sportsmen of this area, for Fish Cap, but for people that care about the outdoors all over the state and all over America. This is a great day. Just telling me, that's fascinating.
We Ogdensburg actually do a lot of diving out here in the St. Lawrence River. And a lot of dives we do down by the Prescott and Ogdensburg International Bridge, and we see a lot of sturgeon down in there. One of them, we named him Smoothie. He's about 8 foot long. Every time we show up down there, he always comes up, visits with us, swims along next to us.
Really?
Comes in front of us, swims backwards in front of us, always visits with us, and then just all of a sudden will disappear.